Imagine stepping into a world where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, where a single fig might just crack open the fabric of time itself. Welcome back to the channel, where we venture Oltre Limite del Tempo, beyond the limits of time, to chase the shadows of history's strangest riddles. If you've ever felt that the Bible holds more secrets than sermons, or that ancient legends whisper truths about realities we've forgotten, then buckle up. Today, we're unraveling the mystery of the boy of the figs and the biblical anomalies that refuse to stay in their lane. This isn't just folklore or Sunday school stories. This is a journey that might rewrite everything you thought you knew about time, miracles, and the hidden threads connecting ancient Egypt to the Holy Land. Stick around until the end, because the final twist will have you questioning the very seasons of your own life. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We drop these mind-benders every week. Picture this. A poor Egyptian fella, a simple peasant boy, living under the blazing sun of the Nile, dreaming of the impossible. He longs to stand before a queen so powerful and beautiful that her court trembles at her name. No gold, no army, no royal blood, just a boy and his unyielding hope. Then one winter's day, when the world should be barren and cold, a fig tree in his meager plot bursts into impossible fruit. Ripe, sweet, heavy with promise, defying every law of nature and season. He plucks those figs, presents them as tribute, and suddenly the gates of the palace swing open. The queen, enchanted by this out-of-season miracle, grants him an audience that changes his fate forever. That's the tale of the boy of the figs, preserved in shadow puppet theater, a story that feels too precise, too symbolic to be mere children's entertainment. But what if it's more? What if this boy wasn't just clever? What if he stumbled upon something ancient, something that bends the rules of time itself? Now hold that image and leap across centuries and continents to the dusty roads outside Jerusalem. It's the week before Passover, and Jesus of Nazareth is hungry. He spots a fig tree lush with leaves, promising fruit at first glance. But the season is wrong. Figs shouldn't be ripe yet. He approaches anyway, finds nothing but empty branches hiding behind the greenery, and in a moment that has puzzled scholars for 2,000 years, he curses it. May no one ever eat fruit from you again. The next morning, the tree is withered to its roots. Mark and Matthew record it with eerie calm, as if this wasn't just a miracle but a warning. Why curse a tree for doing what trees do, following the natural rhythm of seasons? Why this one act of apparent frustration from a man who fed thousands and calmed storms? Theologians call it symbolic, a stand-in for Israel's fruitless faith or the coming destruction of the temple. But what if it's something deeper, something that echoes that Egyptian boy's impossible harvest? Consider the anomalies piling up around figs in the Bible. In Genesis, Adam and Eve don't reach for apples when shame hits them. They grab fig leaves to cover their nakedness. Why figs? Some traditions say the tree of knowledge itself was a fig tree, its broad leaves perfect for the first fashion statement of humanity. Fast forward to the prophets. Micah speaks of every man sitting under his own vine and fig tree in the days of peace, a symbol so potent it becomes shorthand for messianic utopia. And then there's that cursed tree again, standing alone in the Gospels as one of the few miracles where Jesus brings destruction instead of healing. No other miracle punishes nature like this. It feels off, like a glitch in the timeline. Scholars debate whether the tree was meant to represent hypocrisy or judgment, but the timing, the wrong season, the immediate withering screams anomaly. What if these aren't random symbols? What if figs in Scripture are markers for moments when the veil between ordinary time and something eternal tears just a little? Let's push further. Ancient cultures revered the fig for reasons that go beyond nutrition. In Egypt, the sycamore fig was sacred to Hathor and later to Isis, linked to life, rebirth, and the afterlife. Cycles that mock linear time. The Boy of the Fig's tale feels like a folk memory of that reverence, a story where a humble child uses a seasonal defiance to bridge the gap between peasant and palace. In the Bible, the fig tree's curse happens right after Jesus cleanses the temple, as if the two events are braided together, empty ritual on one side, empty branches on the other. Both point to something hollow pretending to be full. But here's where it gets electric. What if the Boy of the Figs and the biblical fig anomalies are fragments of the same forgotten knowledge, a technique, a ritual, or even a natural phenomenon that lets someone step outside the clock? Out-of-season fruit isn't just agricultural luck. In a pre-scientific world, it would look like time itself had been rearranged. Imagine for a moment a hidden lineage of guardians, people who understood that certain trees, under the right conditions, could act as anchors between eras. The Egyptian boy finds his fig tree in winter and gains access to power. Jesus, centuries later, finds one in spring that refuses to bear fruit and uses the moment to signal a larger shift in spiritual time, the end of one covenant, the dawn of another. These aren't coincidences, they're echoes. And the anomalies don't stop there. Early Christian texts and apocryphal writings hint at other fig-related wonders. The infancy gospel of Thomas, that wild collection of childhood Jesus stories, speaks of a young boy who commands nature in ways that terrify his neighbors. No figs there, but the theme of a child wielding impossible influence over the physical world feels connected. Then there are the medieval legends where pilgrims report fig trees blooming at the exact moment of prayer or vision, tiny ruptures in seasonal law that pilgrims swore bent time around them. Dig deeper into the physics of it, or at least the metaphysics. Modern science tells us figs have a unique pollination cycle involving tiny wasps, a symbiotic dance so precise it feels almost engineered. But ancient people didn't know that. To them, a fig appearing when it shouldn't was proof of divine, or perhaps human, interference with the order of creation. What if the Boy of the Figs wasn't using magic, but tapping into a lost technology of consciousness or energy that accelerates or rewinds natural cycles? Biblical prophets spoke of time folding in on itself. Isaiah sees a future king before he's born. Daniel dreams of empires rising and falling like seasons on fast forward. Figs, with their hidden flowers inside the fruit, symbolize hidden realities, things ripening in secret until the right moment cracks them open. Think about how these stories survive. The shadow puppet tale of the Boy of the Figs comes to us through French animator Michel Ocelot's Princes and Princesses, a series that literally lets viewers travel between past and future worlds via silhouette theater. It's as if the medium itself is nodding to the content, shadows dancing across time. Meanwhile, the gospel accounts were written decades after the events, filtered through oral tradition, yet they preserve the fig tree incident with photographic clarity. Why? Because it didn't fit neatly. It was an anomaly worth remembering, a signpost that something beyond ordinary chronology had occurred. As we travel further, the connections multiply. In Jewish mysticism, the fig tree appears in Kabbalistic texts as a symbol of the Shekinah, the feminine divine presence that bridges heaven and earth. Eating from it or cursing it carries weight because it touches the flow of divine energy through time. The Boy of the Figs, offering winter fruit to a queen, mirrors the way mystics describe offering the first fruits of the spirit to the divine feminine. Both stories suggest that when someone aligns with a deeper rhythm beyond the calendar, impossible things become possible. Seasons bend, destinies shift. Time, that rigid tyrant, loosens its grip. Of course, skeptics will say it's all metaphor, poetic license, or coincidence, but the persistence of these fig anomalies across cultures and centuries begs for a better explanation. What if they're evidence of individuals who briefly stepped oltre limite del tempo, a peasant boy in Egypt, a carpenter's son in Judea, both encountering figs at the wrong moment and using that encounter to rewrite their reality. Maybe the figs themselves aren't the point. Maybe they're keys, biochemical or symbolic triggers that open doors we've since forgotten how to find. We live in an age that measures time in nanoseconds and still feels perpetually behind. Yet these ancient tales remind us that time might not be the straight line we draw on calendars. It might be a garden full of fig trees, some barren, some miraculously full, waiting for the right person to notice. The mystery of the boy of the figs and the biblical anomalies isn't solved by dismissing them as legend or lesson. It's solved by wondering what happens when we stop accepting the season we're given and start looking for fruit where none should be. As we come to the end of this journey beyond the limits of time, one question lingers like the aftertaste of a perfect fig. What other anomalies are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone brave enough to reach out and touch them? If this episode sparked even a flicker of wonder in you, do me a favor. Drop your wildest theory about the boy of the figs or that cursed tree in the comments right now. Did Jesus know something about time we've lost? Was the Egyptian boy a time traveler in peasant's clothing? Your ideas fuel the next episode. Smash that like button if you want more deep dives into forgotten mysteries. Subscribe so you never miss a single step past the edge of what we think we know. And share this video with someone who needs their timeline shaken up. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, keep looking for figs in winter, because the impossible might just be one harvest away. I'll see you beyond the limit.